Between the years of 2008 and 2011, the creator of God of High School, jepark, created his first ever webcomic. Back then, webtoons started to become something. They were in the shadows of animes and mangas that became big today. I remember in middle school, I was getting no bitches when saying, yeah, I watch Naruto. But now, people be out here saying that Boruto is the best anime ever. So, with that said, the webtoon was not that big when it first came out. Only a small amount of people know about this, and it got discontinued not because of the low amount of viewers, but because of Park, who had a bigger idea in mind. That idea was of course God of High School, so the name of this webtoon was Ssen Nom, translated as the strongest fighter, with only 21 chapters out in English because in Korea 75 chapters are out. I don't know what happened to the translators, maybe they got beat up, who knows. But this series gave me a taste of nostalgia that I can't remove out of my mouth. With only the art and colors, it creates this feeling back when I was a kid. A feeling that won't change no matter how many times I read or watch a series like Samurai Champloo or Cowboy Bebop. But it was considered discontinued or cancelled because the last time we heard about it was in 2011. And personally, it could have got far. If you ask me. The series had good characters, a good story to follow, and a top tier art provided by the one and only jepark. You get the point. The day that Park will officially finish God of High School could open a path for Ssen Nom, because I think that he's definitely going to work on this series again, or just create a new webtoon that's related to teenagers and high schools. But for now, before I start going off on Ssen Nom, make sure to subscribe for more videos like this. Our goal, you guys, is 10,000 subscribers, and we're almost, somewhat close to that. So subscribe, don't forget to leave a like, and to follow me on Twitter for more webtoon content. And now, let's get into the video.
You don't got bread, don't hit me. Pull up the game, ain't with me. Got that bitch like whoa. Dress is sauce, I know.
Now this story is extremely short, but within those 20 chapters, a really good one is told. Not as good as God of High School, but a decent story that you can enjoy. Like I said before, the story brings out a nostalgia that gives you a smile every time you flick a page or two. The colors and mainly the characters, but it's something expected from a 2008 webtoon. So, a teenager by the name of Tai Yob entered a new school where he has to adapt to the people around him and the new rules he has to face. And by introducing himself in class, we learned that he wants to become an MMA fighter because he loves to fight. What a surprise. And to train, I guess, he fights other characters in this series that has more depth and style than him for some reason. Don't get me wrong, I love the determination of the main character, but he just looks and feels basic. I'm sorry, it just had to be said. But what can you expect from a 14-year-old manhwa? And like I was saying, each and every one of those characters has their own style and attributes that was kind of unique. And each and every one of those characters would give you some kind of flashback of either middle school or high school because of their incredible vibe that they give us. Like MC Kim. By this name, you know Kim is completely into hip-hop. His dance moves are inspired by rap artists. Even the way he speaks and walks goes deep into the hip-hop style. But don't be fooled, after a couple of breakdances on the floor, he can catch you slipping by breaking your face with his fancy moves. Or better yet, we got the fat weeb named David Kang, a humongous figure that's a big fan of Sailor Moon, and he is obsessed with it, from figurines to socks that you wear. But as you guessed it, he is also known to be a fighter in the school, trapping his opponents in corners so that they can't escape him. But it's those type of little detail that actually makes a good story. I understand that people think that the story is not as good of God of High School, but for me, a good and understandable story that I can relate to. I don't really f with the story of God of High School because I can't relate to it, and it's not really realistic, if you know what I mean. I feel more connected to Ssen Nom because the story kind of makes sense and it's simple. But now you got God of High School that I can't seem to have a connection with. Yes, it's a thrilling adventure to read, but the story is basic as hell. I just can't relate to it, but I still make content about it because I enjoy it. And between me and you, the only thing that's real in the series is definitely the emotion that the God of High School cast is sharing and Do-shik Kim, the realest character in the series. But nevertheless, I'll always try to look over for details when it comes to a specific series and meatheads like God of High School and Ssen Nom. And there's a beautiful difference out there. When you have a fantasy webtoon like God of High School and an action manga like Ssen Nom, there's going to be one of them that's going to do something better than the other, but the difference will be so obvious that you won't miss it. For example, when reading God of High School, you don't expect yourself to go down on earth so easily, but this webtoon does it so quickly you won't even have time to react to it. Like when they finish the first big war, next thing you know, they're going back to high school playing soccer. I know that they're teenagers before fighters, but it just doesn't feel right. But then you have Ssen Nom that's kinda realistic. Fighting another student and going hoop right after makes even more sense than going to another world and just play soccer afterwards. Now you have the big idea between those two. So with that said, for a show that got a small amount of chapters, it really delivers what you're looking for. And you know me, you know what I'm about to say. Ssen Nom is more than fighting. We can argue in the comments, I don't care. But I'll always look over the fight scenes of any series to try to find emotion, purpose behind the situation, and the context of it. And the characters to show all of those at the same time are literally us, the reader, and the spectators inside the series. But the only thing I found was pride. They were fighting because of their popularity and reputation around the school and students. But there's one character that really caught my eye and changed the whole motive of fighting. This teenager alone twisted this manga into something personal. I won't spoil anybody about it because I want you guys to read it and try to have the same nostalgia experience that I got when reading it. Overall, with only having 21 chapters out in English for us to read, there's not enough source material to put some kind of review out. But I knew that it was going somewhere. The ambition and dream that the main character had was going through my mind every time a punch was thrown, and this type of energy really reminded me of my childhood. So I expect from you guys the same feeling that I had. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe and like for more videos like this one. Make sure to drop your favorite webtoon in the comments so I can peep it and probably do a video on it. So with that said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.